The Millie Bobby Brown, a young actress who grew up in front of the world's eyes, and now, at just 21, she's once again at the center of controversy. This time because she and her husband, Jake Bongiovi, have adopted a baby girl. What should have been a moment of joy has instead been twisted into online outrage. Some are calling her too young, others are questioning her motives. And, disturbingly, there are dark conversations spreading online that reveal the ugly way society treats young women who step into adulthood under the public spotlight. To understand why Millie's decision is being so unfairly criticized, we need to rewind. Millie was only 12 years old when Stranger Things premiered in 2016. Practically overnight, she became one of the most recognizable faces in the world. While many kids were worried about homework, she was dealing with red carpets, interviews, and the crushing pressure of fame. But fame comes with shadows. And in Millie's case, those shadows often came in the form of people obsessively waiting for her to grow up. There's a disturbing culture in Hollywood and Western media. Child actors are treated like countdown clocks. The public, and sometimes even the press, lurk in anticipation of the day they turn 18, just so they can sexualize them without consequence. The same disturbing behavior was seen with Emma Watson during the Harry Potter era. Tabloids openly tracked her 18th birthday, and photographers jostled each other for the first adult pictures of her. The same happened with Hailey Bieber, who was followed by paparazzi trying to capture invasive, inappropriate photos. Millie Bobby Brown wasn't spared either. She became the subject of vile online discussions about how she would look when she turned 18. People debated whether she would pose in revealing photo shoots, whether she would take on adult roles, and some even wrote comments about waiting for that moment. For a teenage girl just trying to work and live, this was nothing short of harassment. Adding fuel to the fire was her early relationship with Hunter Ikomovic, an older boy who later went live online to humiliate her. He shared deeply personal and private details, mocking her in front of an audience of strangers. His cruel words revealed just how vulnerable Millie really was. But instead of him getting the sympathy, people rushed to Millie's defense. It was one of the first times fans collectively stood up and said, "Enough is enough." Despite the trauma, Millie stayed focused on her career. She worked through the criticism, through the gossip, and continued acting. Then, at 17, she met Jake Bongiovi through mutual friends. Jake, the son of legendary rock star Jon Bon Jovi, was studying at college when he and Millie exchanged numbers. For a while, she didn't call. But when she finally did, something clicked. A friendship blossomed, then a romance. By 2021, they made their relationship official. And of course, the internet had opinions. Some questioned Jake's intentions, pointing out his famous family name. Others accused Millie of being too young to be in such a serious relationship. But the truth is, both of them were simply young adults in love. Still, the criticism never stopped. When Millie turned 18, the media frenzy became unbearable. Paparazzi hounded her. Interviewers asked inappropriate questions. Online forums flooded with posts dissecting her every move. To protect herself, she set strict boundaries. She became less available to photographers, avoided certain events, and stopped engaging with hostile media. But instead of respecting those boundaries, she was labeled rude and arrogant. It's the same tired cycle we've seen before. When a young woman asserts control over her own life, she's punished for it. Then came another wave of backlash. In 2023, when Millie and Jake got engaged, critics called it a reckless decision. Too young, too fast, too naive. When they married in May 2024, at ages 20 and 22, the internet exploded again. People mocked them, predicting divorce before the wedding flowers had even wilted. To many outsiders, their timeline didn't make sense. But to Millie and Jake, their commitment was real. And now, in 2025, the couple has adopted a baby girl. They named her Love. In their announcement, they shared their excitement about stepping into this new chapter of parenthood in peace and privacy. Yet again, instead of celebration, hate poured in. Some claimed Millie was bored and treating adoption like a trend. Others sneered that wealthy young couples shouldn't be allowed to raise a child. But here's the hypocrisy. If Millie had chosen not to adopt, people would have accused her of being selfish. If she had gotten pregnant, the same critics would have complained she was too young to carry a child. No matter what she does, there will always be a crowd ready to judge her. What these people fail to see is the impact adoption truly has. For the child, this decision isn't a publicity stunt, it's life-changing. Without adoption, that baby girl could have spent years in an orphanage, facing uncertainty and neglect. Instead, she now has a loving home with parents who have both the resources and the heart to provide for her. And for Millie, adoption isn't just some random choice. She's spent years rescuing animals, dogs, cats, even strays she's found while filming. She's built shelters on her own property, pouring her time, energy, and money into giving vulnerable creatures a better life. That compassion doesn't just stop at animals, it's part of who she is. And Jake shares that passion with her. Still, there's something even darker lurking in the criticism. Alongside the hate for her adoption decision, some people online admitted they were disappointed. Disappointed that Millie's motherhood might mean fewer revealing photo shoots. Disappointed that the fantasy they built around her turning 18 would now go unfulfilled. Some even wrote that they had hoped for intimate magazine spreads or adult movie roles, comments that are not only offensive, but outright dehumanizing. It reveals a hard truth. Millie Bobby Brown isn't just being criticized for her choices. She's being punished for refusing to conform to the disturbing fantasies that others project onto her. We've seen this pattern before. The influencer Danielle Cohn was sexualized as a teenager online. Singer Billie Eilish spoke about being pressured into dressing or behaving in ways that fans demanded once she turned 18. There's an unhealthy cycle in entertainment that objectifies young girls and then punishes them if they don't play along. But Millie is pushing back. She's carving her own path, getting married on her own terms, adopting a child on her own terms, and rejecting the toxic expectations that the media and internet try to impose on her. Yes, she's young, but she's also someone who has worked in the industry for nearly a decade, supporting herself since childhood. With that comes a maturity and self-awareness that many 21-year-olds don't have to develop so quickly. When you watch her interviews, her personality shines through. She speaks with confidence. She sets boundaries. She isn't afraid to defend her choices. And maybe that's the real reason people are so quick to attack her. Because a strong young woman who refuses to be controlled is a threat to the system that feeds on her. So here we are, Millie Bobby Brown, once again under fire, not for a scandal, not for hurting anyone, but simply for choosing love, family, and privacy. And maybe that's the lesson we should all take away. When someone's happiest moments are met with anger and ridicule, the problem isn't them. The problem is us. What do you think? Is Millie Bobby Brown being unfairly targeted? Or is she just a young woman growing up and making choices like anyone else would, only under the harsh spotlight of the entire world?